feel free to pop in and ask. So I'm going to give it one more minute and then we will start. I'm going to start right on time tonight and we'll go from there. It's awesome. Welcome everybody on Facebook. So we are double streaming and we're double streaming on Zoom and Facebook. So again, any questions, you feel free to ask them. We are talking all love, all relationships, but I like to talk about the rocky stuff. I like to talk what's tripping us up and what's showing up and why we get stuck and all that stuff. Because if you know where the pitfalls or the challenges or how to override it or what is happening in the world, it changes your game. Now you kind of have a little bit of an advantage in the game. And that's what I want to give you guys all the time is the advantage, right? And so that's my goal. All right. And so what tonight is me giving you the advantage of what the universe is telling us, the universal truth tribe, which is what this is. So what's happening in the universe and what's happening affecting all of us. And I don't care if it was 2 weeks ago, 2 days ago, or 2 hours ago, you're all going to start feeling the energy that's coming up. And you probably already are feeling the relationship energy getting strained and tight. So that's tonight's topic. Okay. So six bells on the dot. So I'm going to say welcome. Good evening, everybody. I'm Dawn Thompson and welcome to the Truth Tribe. We are going to have a good night tonight because tonight's topic is reviving relationship restrictions. The big word coming up is restrictions, right? So we're going to kind of cover all that. I always want to start with reminding all of you that when I go up onto the grid, I send you all love every single day when I meditate. And I love you all very much. And I want you all to know that you're all perfect. So anything that we bring up in the Truth Tribe, we speak truth, but we also speak from the truth of you're all perfect. And we just came to the planet Earth to take some classes, right? Take some chemistry classes and take some science classes and take some English and take some art. And some of it's going to be easy for you and some of it's not. So when I go on the grid and I go into meditation, I go in, ask my guides what it is, right? What it is that would help us have a little more understanding where the future is, where the planet is current now. And so what came up was seeing truth requires acceptance. Seeing the truth sometimes isn't the truth you want, but it requires acceptance, right? And acceptance and understanding are pretty high on the consciousness scale. I'll pop that up a little bit later if any of you have forgotten. It's also on my website. So if you want to see the consciousness scale again, you can pull it up at ideserveitnow.com and you'll be able to see it there. Okay, so you won't miss it if you want to see it again, if it's on the screen, okay? But anyway, acceptance and understanding are in the power state of the consciousness scale, and down below, you know, those are really, if you're in acceptance and unconditional and understanding, and you're in a powerful state, right? And so when you kind of push yourself down below to blame and fear and anger, they're forced energies, right? They're low vibrations and very unconscious. Are they bad? No, nothing is good or bad. It's just, they're very heavy and dense. And so there's a lot more work into them. So we have to force them to work. Okay. So this whole fighting or frightening energy that's showing up on the planet are low energies. And when they surface, they're basically alerting you to wake up to what you want out of relationships in life, because relationships make up your entire life. How you get along with people at work, how do you get along with your family, how you get along with your children, how you get along with your spouse, how you get along with whoever you're dating, it doesn't matter, right? Tonight I'm going to focus a little bit on marriage and partnerships, relationships. You don't actually have to be married, but that's what I'm going to focus on. And so what kind of relationship do you want? That's what's coming up. And unconscious energy is forcing, when you're unconscious, let's say, and you're down below on the lower aspect of the vibration of the consciousness grid, when you're not awake and you're just kind of walking through life, a lot of that energy down below of blame and anger and fear is forcing others to adapt to your conditions. I'm uncomfortable. I don't know how to stand in my power, so I'm going to have you adapt to me. And that's just not really conducive to a healthy relationship. Thus what's coming up. So the big question I want to ask all of you guys tonight is, what kind of warrior energy does your spirit need to give you power? What does it need today to give you power? Because your spirit is asking for it, not your physical body. You can stand up and go do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, at any moment of time. No matter if you love someone or not, if they love you and you love them, you respect that space and time. So what kind of warrior energy does your spirit need today to give you power? Okay, I want you to think through that as we go through this call. So many are not seeing, they're not only seeing conflict and crisis kind of on every screen, and I know you're seeing it on every screen available, from TV to mainstream media to the movies to the news to social media, right? But it's surfacing in all of your relationships as well. Why? Again, all the way from work to home to your baby, you know, to the little kids. Because if you become conscious and then you try to, like, I want you to think about this, you're doing all this work and you all show up on the Truth Tribe calls and you're trying to empower yourself and your thoughts and you're trying to get yourself to that next level of vibration, okay? And then you go, okay, if I become conscious and now I want to go talk to this unconscious, let's call it unconscious person, or someone who maybe has been still sleeping for a while, you're going to be disappointed when they don't respond properly. And I'm trying to give you this on energetic, because remember, this is all energy. We are energy. Everything about us is energy, sonar vibration reacting to another person. And so energetically, if you're awake and positive and loving and accepting what's on the planet right now, can you accept where people are? You're going to be disappointed when people are still asleep and they're not responding properly. And that's hard, right? And so the good news is the universe is igniting a lot of anger and aggression for good reasons right now. You don't really have to like them, and a lot of it you don't like. But the simple way I can say this is, guys, it's waking your asses up. Plain and simple. And most people don't want to get woken up. That's just where we're at, right? We don't want to get woken up, but we have no choices. So we went through this huge energy shift and everybody kept going, what's consciousness? What's ascension, Dawn? How are we growing? How are we expanding? This is happening, right? And so since we're discussing relationships today, and again, I'm going to focus on a little bit of marriage and serious partnerships, relationship partners. We're all looking for love, right? But this is the one truth that comes up for me over and over again. And so I like to share patterns with you guys. All right. This is the one truth that gets people really frustrated in relationships, but it's the Truth Tribe. So here we go. All right. So when you either date and or marry, whichever it was, whatever you have, wherever you've been, whatever you're on to, wherever you're going, but you want to be in a relationship with someone, whenever you marry them and or get in a serious content relationship with them, you marry your partner's parents' baggage, not your partner's soul. Think about that. Okay, so you get into a relationship, you start dating them, and you get into a relationship with the person's parents' baggage, okay? And I'm not going to go through iPod and how you pick it up, but that's your nurturing. That's how you got nurtured to see marriage, relationships. They were the people who taught you. Okay, so you get their soul after you choose to reset your baggage after years of work, or you can start with a clean slate together. Totally on you. Okay, so the cool part about relationships is like, well, why would I go there? Why would I do that, right? And my point is you attract each other for growth, and it's totally up to both of you to actually grow. And sometimes one might grow faster than the other. Some of you might grow together in tandem. Some of you may never grow and you outgrow them. And that's what's happening right now on the planet. You're all kind of waking up to like, what relationships are valuable to me? Because this world is getting a little crazy. And so what's more valuable to us than anything, which is those who we love, or those who we want to love, or those who we want to get in contact with, right? So what makes me giggle, you guys, is that you're attracting what needs expansion, period. Like what needs expansion in you, that's what you attract in another. And if you don't like it, then you must wake up. Decide on the marriage or the partnership or the relationships that you want, and then trust the energy that we're going to talk about tonight, that Mars is going to push you to find it. So let's talk about the planet I brought up last week that I just didn't have time for. So we're going to talk about Mars. Let's talk about Mars tonight. I'm going to go back to relationships, but we're going to talk about Mars, okay? So Mars is the fourth planet from the sun. Okay, so remember I taught you guys, here's the sun, here are all the planets, including Earth, orbiting around the sun, okay? And here's the sun. And so it's just a planet. There are energies out in the universe, out in the big grid of life, of the universes. There's multiple universes out there. And so Mars is sitting out there, and it's named after the Roman god of war, okay? And its symbol is the ram. So think about ram energy. It rams, and then it backs up. It rams people, and it pushes them forward, and then it backs up to check its work, right? So in astrology, I want you to think of Mars as the planet of outward activity, animal passion. It includes your sex drive, your aggression, your anger, okay? And so Mars rules the sign of Aries. All right. And so if you're an Aries, Mars is your ruler, and that's a good thing, right? And so Aries are pretty feisty people. I love Aries. So this fiery planet is very masculine in its energy. Okay. I want to think of it like that. And so when it's in strong alignment in the sky, which it is right now, which is why I'm bringing it up, it can indicate two options. And again, we can see we see gifts and challenges in every sign, right? And so the gift of Mars energy right now is it can indicate, shall I say, a violent temper? Violence. Is that shocking for any of you to hear what's going on the planet right now? It can also represent, on the good part of the scale, is great courage within. Like it gives you this strength to have courage to move forward, okay? And so Mars represents basically where you will assert yourself and where you will take action in the most positive sense of the word. So if you guys have your chart, which we talked about this a couple times, those of you who chose to go in and get time passages on your phone or in another program, you can pull up your chart and look for Mars. It's a little circle. It looks like the male sign, the sign of a male with a little arrow on it. It's red, okay? Where Mars sits is where you'll take positive action in the most positive sense in your life, okay? So if you have a chart, you can look at your natal chart and see where it sits, but we also see where Mars is for you natally. You can see where it's affecting you right now in the universe, okay? So the gift of Mars, how it's affecting all of us, which is it just entered the sign, its own sign. So everybody has a ruling planet. You're a sign, and then you have a planet that rules it, so they match. Mars' happy place is in Aries because it's the ruling planet of Aries. And it went into the constellation when it was orbiting around in all these constellations. It went into constellation of Aries on June 27th. So not just a month ago, it went in there. And it will stay there until January of 21. So into the new year. Normally, Mars only visits for 2 months in each constellation, and then it goes into the next sign for 2 months. But because it's going to retrograde on us for a little bit, Mars is going to retrograde and it's going to stay in Aries for 6 months, you guys. So I want you to get used to this. That's why I'm just bringing this planet. I'm only giving you one planet tonight because it's a planet that's really going to kind of push your buttons for a while. Not in an overwhelming sense the whole time, but I want you to know it's giving you fire and passion. And so Mars hanging out in Aries is amazing because in this time of transition, it's the time of initiation of activity, okay? We all need to start taking action, and that's what Mars loves, right? So is there something lately for any of you that you've been hesitant to start? Mars in Aries is going to help you finally get the ball rolling. That's where that's coming from. So when Mars is in Aries, it's like he's on top of the world. That's where Mars wants to be, in that Aries energy, okay? So he's strong. Mars is strong, independent, fiery. There is nothing, absolute nothing that can stand in Mars' way. All right. So no matter what, so it's kind of like what he wants to accomplish, Mars and Aries will win wherever it's sitting. All right. So if you do know the transit of your chart, if you want to look that up, just see what house it's in, and it's going to start pushing you in that area of your life. and you'll be able to see how it's affecting you. Okay. I do go over a lot of this stuff, by the way, guys, in my retreats and my events coming up. So just so you know, they are coming up, and we're going to start doing a spiritual warrior course that's kicking in. I'll let you guys know about that later. I'm so excited about it. I can't even hold back anymore, but that's my happy place. You guys all know that. So anyway, we'll launch the spiritual warrior class, the course soon. Anyway, Mars and Aries, it's not about planning. Okay, so I'm going to ask all of you to set a destination in mind and quit trying to plan how you're going to get there. Just expect to get there. It's about moving forward regardless of what stands in your way. That's what Mars wants, because it'll keep ramming until it gets there, and it won't know where it's going, doesn't care, it's going to push you out of the way. So it's time for all of you to consider this energy that is bringing up in all of you and why it's uncomfortable, because most people don't like to move. We don't like to be uncomfortable. We don't like to make change. So it's time to blaze trails. Any of you who's starting something new, and I mean uncomfortable new even, like shit you don't like, stuff that's pissing you off, frustrating you, irritating you, it's like, okay, it's time to get yourself into that energy and push ourselves, tone your body, tone your mind. That's what Mars energy is asking all of you to do right now. And we're going to be more likely to do things that we've never done before during this time. And this is like a 5-month window left. We got a month under our belt, right? So during this timeline when Mars is in the sky in Aries, it's both about trying. It's more about trying, I should say, like than winning. And the best way I can say that is it's kind of like if you don't try, you'll never know. So Mars will nudge you to take like the first step. Okay, so why you're feeling kind of this uneasiness and like this desire to kind of do something and move forward and get yourself going, that's why. Because Mars is getting us all kind of making us uncomfortable. It's the best way I can say it, right? And when you're uncomfortable, you get up and move. So take a step. So while it's got this incredible surge of pushing us to move forward and make a choice and like do these things that it wants us to get to do, and it can be super beneficial, it can also become this challenge in our lives and relationships. And that's why I'm bringing relationships up tonight, because it's starting to kind of bring up some feistiness in relationships. And then that's what people don't like, because then they might be arguing, and it's never bad. I don't think arguments should be bad if you can call a truce and understand that there's stuff we got to get out. And sometimes it doesn't come out gentle, but if we're less concerned with consequences, that's what Aries wants you to know. If you don't understand that, if you're Aries is going to make you less concerned with consequences right now, and how this impulsive behavior is going to become likely, and it's going to come out of you. And then this impulsiveness comes out and you're like, oh no, like that's not what I meant to do. It's not what I meant to share. And I agree. Most of people, when you're in an argument, you don't mean to say a lot of stuff you say, right? So it's where it's coming from. It's best, plain and simplest way I can say it. So you're going to find that you experience more outbursts of anger with people, that our direct approach is going to rub possibly others the wrong way. Mars and Aries makes us all feel like it's my way or the highway, which means we aren't willing to meet others halfway. So we could have been butting heads like more frequently due to this aggressive energy that's in the air. And tell me you haven't seen it on your digital screens. Okay, so I'm showing you what you see on the outside, but when you're at home in a home environment, it's coming up as well. You can't avoid it. And so my answer is, so how do you approach it, right? How do you approach this in acceptance when others are being volatile, right? How do you do that? So let's talk about that. First, I want you guys to remember about the bigger picture, right? So remember the grid when you're in question. Remember when I've taken you up. Imagine just immediately going out into outer space and looking down on the planet. You look at the planet, you're like, oh, I see the planet. Okay, and you're standing on an intersection on a grid line, and you go, okay, what is my best approach to being accepting and understanding of this tough lesson that's being shown to me? Not, oh, poor me, I'm being victimized, it's hurting me, oh my God, nothing I can do about it. Get up there and get big, get grand, expand your mindset, and give yourself some time to go, if I were really looking at this externally, what can I learn? How can I improve? How can this help me? And this is going to make you guys all laugh. Okay, so this you guys like, why can't I have that lesson, right? So this is what's funny about the lesson. So the lesson I'm getting from Mars right now, which is kind of, it's been irritating me, right? Is fun. That's my lesson, where Mars is sitting in my chart and is putting me out in the sector and I'm public. And so I'm getting this fun lesson galore, and it's being forcing me to address my workaholic ways. Like I love just building all this stuff. And like I said, I just built a new course and I love it. Right. And so stop talking about what you don't want and discuss what you do want. And so for me, I have to address how to put more fun into my day, into my lives, and into my courses, into everything I do. I have fun, but it's not all, it shouldn't always be work. So it's no different. It is no different whether it's, oh, I have to work more in my relationship. I'm not really good at that. I'm great at having fun. Well, you guys can bring me with you to the fun party, okay? So the point being is that I'm showing you the extremes. It can be relationship arguing. It can be learning how to have more fun. It can be learning how to nurture your own self. It can be learning how to do so many things, but Mars is going to push you, almost like making you uncomfortable, to get more clients or to grow your inner being, to be more diligent about your mind and your beliefs and what you're thinking, what you're going to say to people. So when it comes to relationships, I want you guys to understand we are in the process of revising relationship restrictions. And it's because you have to accept the truth. And here's the truth on all of you, I mean, your truth, right? The truth is that you may have restrictions and rules on your partners in order to make you happy. If you do this, then I'll be happy. If you act like that, then I'll be happy. Beep, 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 beep. That's my wording, my fun wording for you guys. No. So putting expectations on there. Remember, when you put rules and restrictions on your partner in order to make you happy, you're not reviving the relationship of its restrictions. And if we put restrictions on relationships, then you're not in acceptance mode, which is what Spirit has been telling me. We have to learn how to be more accepting. And if someone's doing something you don't like, accept it and you don't need to engage. You don't need to walk down that road. Leave them be. So let's review a little bit on what happened in the past. I think I've shared with you so many multiple times in these courses, right, or in the Truth Tribes, that we are moving into Aquarian energy. And Aquarian energy means that we're moving into futuristic energy, catapulting into the future, thinking scientifically, thinking technology, thinking open-minded, humanitarian, group, supportive, encouraging, coming together communally, helping each other, okay? That's a sign of the future. Now, the old paradigm that many people are still used to or think they should be, we pulled out of it, but we're not totally free of it, which is the white picket fence. And it's fighting with this white picket fence mentality of marriage, relationships in general, with future non-conventional partnerships. That's what's happening. So here's the 411 on relationships. Here's the download of information that's happening on relationships in general. Your sonar, your energy, your vibration that comes out of your soul that I've taught you all, here's your thymus, open yourself up, open your soul up and say, what do I love? Okay. Your vibe does not lie. Your energy does not lie to you. Okay. So you can feel energy and people can feel you. And get ready. They can feel you and they can feel your baggage of bullshit. Period. And you can feel theirs as well, right? You can feel when people are bringing their BS to you and you're like, oh, great. You don't have to be mad or upset. That's the accepting I'm trying to get you. So you can feel if something's feeling powerful or if it's feeling forced. You can feel if it's all shifting, it's making you better and it's shifting you, and it's going to happen. It's forcing you to shift you. But we want to blame everybody, someone in our household, someone in our family, someone in our relationship. Our family members are to blame. It's their fault. No, it's you to just decide don't participate. It's no different than if you don't want to go down in a very dangerous place, don't participate. Other people have no fear. Leave them alone. So holding on to conventional is what is creating the angry outbursts right now. Even if it's a mindset. It may not be yours, but if it's not yours, you don't participate. And I've talked about this a bit. So if you're waiting for the old white fence, white picket fence, beaver, I'm dating myself, wow. Beaver cleaver, do you remember the beaver cleaver lifestyle? Do you remember, anybody remember Leave It to Beaver? Am I totally dating myself here? So anyway, if you're looking at that white picket fence lifestyle to return to you, you're going to be hit hard with this transition, because we're not going back there. I'm not telling you marriages and relationships are ending at all. What we're being asked to do with this Mars forced energy is we're being forced to level up, to raise our vibration, okay? To expand to the future. And understand that nothing conventional anymore, even nothing's conventional. I mean, you can look outside and see what's the norm anymore, and you can't keep up because it changes day by day by day, right? So that's what Aquarius energy is. And I warned you way back months ago, right? At the beginning of this, Aquarian energy is sudden in, sudden out, sudden in, sudden out. So the second you get used to something, you're like, it changed again. Okay, now adapt. There's the acceptance I'm asking you guys to open your minds to, okay? So nothing conventional anymore is even in partnerships. That's what's showing up. So this is where it gets tricky, okay? Here's the trickiness. It's not asking you to compromise your values at all. It's asking us to expand to a more loving, accepting, courageous state of mind. All right, to open our minds to partners who want to grow into the unknown instead of stagnation in the no longer available old. And that old, if you're clinging to it, you're having this volatile frustration, angry energy. That's what's happening. So even the stuff you're watching externally, they're still clinging on to the old because they're in still anger, frustration, heavy, dense mode. And a lot of us have risen up to this lighthouse vibration, which is light and beauty and ascension and acceptance and love. And so just watching it makes you uncomfortable, but that's what this is. Okay, so you can basically see like so much in the unconventional vibrating just all to the surface, right? You're seeing it showing up. And unconventional in relationships, it just doesn't work with unconditional love. Conditional love. I'm speaking out of turn here. So if you have conditions on love, that unconventional relationship energy connecting with people isn't going to work, which is why like people are like, well, how do you date during COVID? Find a way. Love didn't just disappear. All these things are showing up for people. I'm like, just change your ways. So non-traditional and unconventional are best. They function best in unconditional love, which is higher up on the consciousness scale. And so the world is struggling with relationships right now because they're trying to adapt to the world. Then they're trying to figure out who they are in the relationships because we're with people that we've been with all the time, every time, the same person, and we're having to learn about ourselves, right? And so this is a big thing I notice is love, the word love, right? And a lot of you may notice this. The word love is thrown out so loosely that it's often, you know, it has all these conditions wrapped around it, right? I love you, but I love you because, or I love you and I expect, right? And so it's wrapped around all these conditions. And so my point is, it's not really love, it's control disguised as love, or wrapped up in paper, this pretty packaging called love. And that's not love, right? And so what I keep getting asked is it possible to have non-traditional or non-conventional and unconditional love? 1 second, Aaron, I did get your question. I'm going to address it because it's coming up. So again, non-conventional and unconditional love. And my question is isn't that what unconditional love is? Non-conventional, like non-conditional, right? Isn't that what it is? I mean, no conditions, no traditions, no anything, just love. That's hard to do because you're being told right and wrong, good and bad, and that's not how this works. Not in the consciousness of divine higher power. If you believe in a source energy, then you believe in God and you believe in the universe and you believe in something bigger, which is on the grid. You know that everything is unconditional love at that point. So guys, here's the tip. Love is love. It's either freeing and it frees you to be you, or it's forced. And force is control. So that's a big deal. And so what I'm watching is everyone has baggage. Okay. And I'm so tired of listening to people try to deny any wrongdoing in their part in flaring up of their relationships. It's all them. I didn't do anything wrong. It's not me. And I'm like, that's such bullshit. Everybody's equal. We all have stuff. I talked about your shadow work and working on you, right? And so you're not fooling your partner when you speak non-truth, when you avoid the truth. And Mars, coming back to Mars, is asking you to stop blaming, start owning all of your insecurities at their source, and love unconditionally. And so relationships right now, you guys, are getting revealed at their source. So you have to basically decide if they're honest and truthful. It's how you allow acceptance in your relationship and unconditional love. Okay? And so this is a learned craft. I'm trying to teach you guys unconditional love because it's so high on the consciousness scale is a learned skill. Y'all just don't walk into the world. Like I said, you learn your marriage and your how to be in a relationship and a partnership from your parents. And people don't want to hear, they're like, I don't want to be my parents. You are. And so if you want something different, bigger, more badass power couple shit that I teach, that you have to step in and go, I have to start and learn a new craft about relationships that's from my past and make it a choice. Do I want that, or I choose to achieve something bigger? Really quick, I'm going to pop you guys up real quick on the screen. Here is the consciousness scale. Let me share this with you. So if you guys can see this, above here are all these positive emotions, understanding on this end. You can see acceptance and willingness and courageous. Believe me, nobody ever really typically gets above acceptance or willingness. This is a really hard energy to hold and maintain for people. Right now, we're working through courage and affirmation and trying, when I teach you all, to get to neutrality. And I'm trying to get you guys to trust source, to trust divine, trust the world. Okay? And so when we're down here below, this is what you're watching. You're watching blame and humiliation and crave and hate and anger and pride and shame and guilt and, you know, fear. Fear is just rampant, and everything down here is force energy. Everything up here is power energy. And so you watch these power couples and these power relationships. Why? Because they're unconditionally loving of their partner. They love their partner no matter what their partner does, no matter what. And that's a hard thing to do. So here's a question really quick that I just got popped up. If it's not conventional, then what kind of jobs are we looking at? What will our children do? If it's not conventional and that the white picket fence is not going to work, money-wise, will money become unconventional? Everything will become unconventional. Oops, hold on, sorry guys. Everything's gonna become unconventional. And I don't mean just like money. That's going to take time. Everything's going to adapt. And I don't mean unconventional meaning it's always going to be uncomfortable. I don't mean it like that. I mean it's going to be to the point. So you guys, if you want this map of consciousness, I'm gonna stop sharing. This map of consciousness is on my website. You just pop on ideserveitnow.com and go to tools. Everything's on tools that you're looking for, unless you're going to courses. And the new, it says all courses or all classes at the top, all events, I think. Everything that we're launching is all there. So, but if you want tools, it's all there. And so the question she's asking is everything moving to non-conventional? Yes, it is. But I don't mean non-loving. And that's where I think everybody's getting tripped up, like what people are doing and how they're saying it and how they're interacting with people. And that's bad, 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 bad for you maybe. But they need to go do that for them. That's what maybe they're rocking their world. Maybe that is their fun, which is, you know, destructive and wrong and angry, but their anger's coming out. Their destruction's coming out. Their fear is coming out. Their blame, their scorn, their anxiety that they pushed down so long. Is it healthy for some people? No, it's not. But that's not for us to look at other people other than going, well, I have to accept there's something about someone in my home, my spouse particularly, and or boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever you are in a relationship with, and or wanting to have one. And so if you want conditional, we have to start thinking about it from the perspective of you're going to be frustrated because you're going to have a hard time letting go of this is the way it's done. People are going to be looking, but nothing works that way anymore. And so everybody's really kind of just overwhelmed in how to function. And my answer is open your door and open your mindset to accepting and being more understanding of unconditional, non-conditional, non-conformative. Different doesn't mean wrong. It just means bigger and different. So I want y'all to understand with Mars energy, and again, think of it as war and aggression and assertion. Mars energy, we're all in this hyper speed. Okay? We're all in this hyper speed of change. And so that it's tough for many who are not prepared for this shift. It's happening, right? This is going to happen. Oh yeah. You guys aren't getting out of this. So I'll be the bearer of bad news. Okay. So, let me ask a question, or I've got a question popping in here real quick. Relationship quandary, 61, fiance 35. The age gap doesn't seem unusual to us, but two of my 4 kids absolutely refuse to accept her in the family. She's the sweetest, wonderfulest. This makes them feel sad and sabotaging. What can I do to make them accept her into the family? It's a really great question. There's the non-conditional, unconventional, non-traditional, right? Let me repeat to all of you, love is love and unconditional love is love. Now you may have to separate much quicker and she may lose you much quicker, but can she be unconditionally loving to the point where she may lose you faster than you may lose Hubert? We don't have that. We don't have the prediction of death and separation in life. So trying to tell someone what's right and wrong and who we love, that is going to change. It's non-conventional, and love is love. And so trying to prove to your family, to your friends, to your kids, this is what's right and wrong, you're gonna feel frustrated, and it's gonna disappoint you, not them. You're not here to make your children happy. You're here to make you happy. And if your children can't look at you and go, wow, I'm really happy for you, you might end up, not being together very long because you're in a 30-year, 20-year gap, but I wish you well. I wish you blessings. So we have to start looking at ourselves with going, am I okay? Am I being unconditionally loving, and am I in love? Is this really love? Okay. So is this going to happen? Yes. But the question that he was asking is, will it happen on your terms? And my answer is only if you're conscious of it, and only if you're living above the consciousness scale, and only if you make a conscious choice to have better, have love, have unconditional love, because unconditional love, you guys need to understand, is very hard. You don't love unconditionally. Most people I meet do not love unconditionally. They have a lot of rules in what you need to do and who you need to be in order to make them happy. And so when it comes to aggression and all this stuff that's coming out, I am so surprisingly caught off guard all the time. People ask my husband and I questions all the time about our relationship, our marriage. And I have as non-conditional or non-conventional of a marriage as that they come. And people ask me about it all the time, and I'm like, we're so used to it, we just kind of like don't even notice, right? And so but because it's that way, we didn't know we were setting ourselves up to now in time. And it's so unconditionally loving that I've never even dreamed I would even see this value of it. Right now I get to teach all of you what I've learned and what I've experienced from it. Why? Get ready. Because we designed it that way. We made it unacceptable to be that way. That's where I'm trying to get all of you. You have to design the relationship that you want and stop asking everybody for permission. People asked us the same thing. Well, how are you going to make that work? Didn't matter if they made it work. Didn't matter if they understood it. We had to understand it. So here are the 4 tips on non-conditional, trying to get yourself into this unconditional love. 4 winning ways that we designed to have this unconditional love and not have it traditional like everybody's expecting it to come out. Okay. So number 1, We plan our fun time with intention and structure. So it could be every 2 weeks. It could be every day of the week that we only get together. Maybe we only have 4 days together, but we plan our fun time with intention. What is our intention? What do we want to do to enjoy each other? Okay. Number 2 tip, we respect the other's passions of work and extracurricular time. So getting upset when that person wants to go do something that they don't want to do with you, that has nothing to do with you. They want to go, I'm using men right now, they want to go hunting. Ladies, I got to harp on you on this one. A lot of ladies are like, why are you going to be with boys? Why? We need separation time, and that is the new. Expect that time apart, but then time together is going to be much more solid. So supporting each other's passions for work and passions for extracurricular time. We also accept our own bullshit and address it by explaining how we will work to improve it. That's step number 3. We address our own and we say, by the way, I suck at this and I'm sucking at it right now. And I need you to understand this is where I'm at. So even during outbursts, we each always speak like, this is my fault. We have that as one of our rules. Okay, so someone wants me to repeat number 3. We accept our own bullshit and address it by explaining how we will work to improve it. Why? So we again, my point is we always say, look, during an outburst or during an inflammation, because when you have this unconditional love, you're still going to have challenges. And so if things come up, we are very aggressively finding solutions, but we speak to each other as always, it's my fault, even if it's not. And he will always speak to me, always it's his fault. So together we're coming to go, no, it's my fault. No, it's my fault. Okay, what do we have to do to fix that? Right? And so we work aggressively to find the insecurities that we need to own. Either way, it's your fault, or for one or the other, ignoring or engaging. So if you have to think about from that perspective, if you're going to ignore something, that's your fault and you're not dealing with it, or engaging in it and taking responsibility, that would be your fault too. But going, yes, it's my fault that I took responsibility and I did it, so I'm good with that. So that's number 3 is a big one, is addressing each of our own personal BS and not projecting on the other. And number 4 is we accept time apart creatively and not cranky. And it's the best way I can describe this, right? Because you can get cranky when you're away from someone and you miss them. And so time apart is very creative, not cranky. Now, when you all, like when you've had more time to talk, it's gonna basically, instead of spending time like, I'm gonna call it squirrel hunting, right? Like a squirrel running around for a nut. And I wanted to go do this, and let's go over here, and go to the party, and let's go to dinner, and you're all socializing and engaging and doing, and there's no communication during those times. Nothing wrong with fun, but you're not forced to communicate. And so when all you got is just, you've been woken up to only FaceTime and Zoom time, we're like old veterans. You guys are not, a lot of people are just waking up to going, how do we relationship through Zoom call or FaceTime call? I'm like, welcome to my world. Why do you think I have an amazing relationship? Because we are Zooming and FaceTiming all the time, and we have to talk. We can't just go do other things and then avoid a very, should I say, sensitive topic. We enforce challenging talks as non-negotiable. We don't go, oh, well, let's wait till we're together again. Let's wait till it's live. We don't give that option. We've looked for creativity and go, okay, fine, FaceTime, face-to-face. You're missing opportunities here. So those are the four areas that I focus on. Is addressing your own BS is a huge one in there. So I want you guys to be understanding and clear about this, okay? The things that won't change in a non-conventional, unconditionally loving relationship, you ready? Is your baggage of bullshit. Let me repeat this. Things that will not change in a non-traditional, non-conventional, but unconditionally loving, no matter what happens, you love each other, right? Is your bag of bullshit. It's gonna come up, right? And your BS is getting highlighted from this fiery Aries energy right now, right? It's getting fiery and it's lit up. And it's making, get ready, explosive fights, emotions, angry red words, revealing your inner battle. So here's the thing, when people are being, and again, you see it really not healthy on the external world out in the streets, right? Or what you're watching it happen live, okay? But you're also watching it in your own home. And the only thing I don't agree with is that people, when they don't know how to handle this fiery energy, they don't realize that whoever is on the receiving end of your bullshit, when it gets explosive and angry, and I call it red words because they're angry, mean red words. You know that little red emoji guy, and he's angry? That's what everybody looks like when Mars is in their energy field. So whoever's on the other end of your BS, when it's coming out of you, are basically simply your punching bag. Not okay. So here's the point. If you are conscious enough to see through it and go, ugh, I acknowledge it, I misdirected it, that was low consciousness energy. You may not use those words, but it's simple. I have to acknowledge what I projected out to you was not okay. Okay, so and if it's not your partners and they don't understand it and they don't understand what you're doing, they're going to feel attacked. They're going to dip down below the consciousness scale, where I told you guys they're going to feel, you know, hurt or hatred or anger or blame or humiliated from you. And it's going to dip down below into that low consciousness with you. And now you guys are going to have a pity party, victim party. I call it the victim pity party. In my balls book, I called it the pain ping pong. I'm going to give you my pain, then you're going to give me your pain, then we're going to ping pong back and forth the pain. That's doing you no good. Own your bullshit. Enough. It's crazy. And so what you're watching and what you're feeling when you see it out there is basically your own pain arising up to the anger. It's all this stuff that we've stuffed down. So you being angry at people outside really reveals you. When you're angry at someone and you can't sit and go, I really shouldn't be angry at you for this, and it does sound kind of stupid, but I am. Okay, so this is my stuff coming up. Own it. It's hard. I'm not telling you guys this is an easy skill or trait to learn, but it is hard. Okay? So either they're mirroring your own stuff and your darkness back, or you are confident consciousness. I call that confident consciousness when you're up above the scale and you're going, you know what? I dipped for a second. I'm going to come back up and reassess this in acceptance and understanding, which is above it. So those of you who are on my IDI daily text, if you want on it and you're on Facebook and you don't know how to get there, just go onto the website, ideserveitnow.com. Go on there and you can see it says free IDI text. Just put it in there. I don't sell information to anybody. You only get it straight from me. But if you all got it today, those of you who did get it, today's IDI was for this call tonight. A soulmate doesn't complete you. A soulmate inspires you to complete yourself. That's exactly what I'm trying to teach you on a vibrational level. You have to complete yourself, guys. No one's going to come show up. No fairy godmother's coming. I'm sorry to break this to all of you. And Mars is saying, you're not getting out of this. So here's what I want you to all be aware of. Many have no desire to grow. And so if you're going to be mad at them for getting stuck or being asleep right now or being in the lower consciousness scale, you're doing the wrong level. You need to focus on you and who you want to be and what you want to become. They will get to you. You don't need to keep scolding people and get mad at them. Be in a different space. Walk away. Allow them to heal their own stuff in their own silence, in their own, solitude. All right? Because people don't desire to change, not because they don't want it. They don't have the desire because it requires them to change. And if they have the desire to grow, they have to change. They have to grow from here to here. It's change. And that's scary stuff for most people. Okay? So the planets aren't giving you much of a choice. And so I kind of wanted to break the news to all of you tonight that they're not giving you a choice because you're all on this kind of slingshot basically back here, and you're all being launched into this new life, relationship life. We're talking on relationships, right? So how do you design the destination? It's all on you. Totally your choice. And yes, you do have a choice. And Aries does not play victim easily, which is why you're all kind of getting pushed off the cliff, or you're getting pushed out the door, you're getting pushed into volatile situations to go, who are you and what do you really want? And do you want, even volatile relationships, marriages, you guys are arguing right now, good. Let it all surface. Let it all get out. Let it all get out without going after them and bantering. See if you can be the silent one. See if you can be the one to let them just verbally get it out and go, I just don't want this anymore. I don't know how to get there. And that's a start, right? But if you don't choose what you want, that's all our Aries is asking you to do, is just to take one step. So it's time to own the future. That's where you're going to get pushed to. What do you want? And so my best suggestion is to make it visual, make it a picture. Those of you who know how to do vision boards, do a vision board. If you are a journal person, write it down, a story about what that storyline looks like. Design it, draw it, marker it, picture it, write it down, vision board it. I don't care what that dream story of that dream relationship looks like. You go onto the website, you can also go on there and make your ideal partner. It's very simple. Again, we're not doing the work. So if you want this non-traditional, unconventional, you can have it. You just got to lay it out and then decide anything that's going to get your energy where you want that spot on the map to be. If you threw a dart at it, where would you want it to land? Then here's the big kick. Don't dictate or control the highways to get you there, only the destination. It's all I want you to pick. I want a healthy marriage. I want a non-argumentative marriage. I want a new location to live with my spouse or partner. People right now are going on non-conventional and going, we can live anywhere we want. We can live on the beach because we're all starting to work remotely. That is non-traditional. That is not going to work 9 to 5, sitting in office. It's happening before your very eyes, but it's happening in your relationships, how you communicate. And you need a plan because it won't work on its own. And I've reminded you guys daily that you can go onto the toolbox, or there's a relationship toolbox. The first step is to design your marriage mission. What do you want it to look like? That's the dart on the board. You can't get there if you have no idea where you're going. Okay, so I've reminded you guys daily, like implement what you want daily on how you're gonna change your vibration, not the person that you are. You're gonna be who you're gonna be. But you have to change the intention of what you actually want to be at the end, because you're not doing anything different than playing out relationships like your parents did, unless you interrupt that. And those of you who are doing it, kudos to you. Blessings to you. I'm so proud of you because you're already steps ahead of everybody else. Discuss it. Just talk about it. All right? And so everybody knows shower talk, you guys. That's something I would encourage you all to do right now. That's also on the website. So I'm trying to give you guys tools to help you heal relationships right now. What do you want them to look like? So every shower you take, I suggest you recite your shower talk. And in shower talk is your friend. I want it to be your friend for engaging in higher consciousness on how do I create this healthier, more unconventional, unconditionally loving relationship. How do you do that? Print it. It's free on IDeserveItNow.com. Like I said, it's on tools. Just click on tools, scroll to the bottom. It's right there. Okay. And the toolbox has all this stuff in it. So because the universe has feisty Mars forcing you all to sit down and deal with this conflict, here's the kick. It's going to feel aggressive. It's going to feel maybe almost intrusive for a while. And if you have a partner that is crumbling and burning, a simple unconditional love, which is I love you, or I believe in you, or I encourage you, or I will leave you to have some time to work through it. Don't get mad at them and how much time it takes. But I also want you all to understand that this can also create what you're seeing externally sometimes, which is so aggressive that it's dangerous and hurtful. That is unacceptable. Ever. So let me remind you guys, it will bring some of that out in people, and they don't know why. They don't know where it came from. They don't even know why it's surfacing. But if it is angry and aggressive, I want you all to make sure you understand unacceptable. And you need to back out of it. Walk away, take time away, a day, an hour, a week, whatever it takes, and then come back and reassess. Because Mars is going to keep pushing you to find new solutions, new opportunities, new ways to get to that dart on the map. I just want you to figure out what the spot is. Where is that target? Okay? So, because the universe and feisty Mars are pushing us, what I want to call it, what it's asking us to do is clear your karmic Kool-Aid. That's what I call it nowadays. It's your karmic Kool-Aid. You bring drinking this shit lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Let's call it, if you don't believe in past lives, generation after generation after generation, but that's what they did, and that's what they did, and that's what they did. Here's the parent thing, okay? But that's how they did it, so that's how it's done. You don't even know you got programmed to act like your parents and or family or situations or however you were brought up. Abandoned, neglected, beaten down, degraded. You don't even look at it because you don't even see this generational loop happening. It's called the karmic Kool-Aid. You keep drinking it, you're going to keep playing those unhealthy relationships. And Mars, I just want you guys to know it's not going to let you. At least it's going to push you out of it and ask you to go bigger, go more loving, go more unconditionally loving, okay? So you've been drinking these memories from multiple lifetimes that no longer serve you. That's what's happening, okay? And your relationships deserve to be loving and accepting. Are they always going to be? No, Tony and I still get in our little, you know, ruffled feathers at times, and we follow our 4 steps that I gave all of you. So let's declare tonight how we're going to cut the karma. So all of you, for just 30 seconds here, I'm going to have you close your eyes and listen to me. And in your head, I want you to repeat, or you can repeat it out loud. I can't hear you. We're going to cut the karmic real quick. So repeat after me. Okay, close your eyes, and I just want you to intentionally put this energy out there for cutting this karmic Kool-Aid of repeating this bullshit stuff. Okay, I let go of the old beliefs that have been transmitted from generation to generation that hinder my growth. I return to source all of the inner programs that hold me in fear and in doubt. I have discovered truth. I am the master of my life and free to advance today. Okay, open your eyes. We've just put out the intention to the universe to clear this, okay? The reason I bring that up, because it's a full moon on Saturday or Sunday, whenever the 3rd is. And I want to say, we're going to keep doing it again. We'll do it on Monday. I'm going to post that, by the way, that quote on my social media account. So if you're on Facebook, you'll see it, save it. If you're on Instagram, it'll be there too. It'll be on all my social media accounts. I'll post a post so you guys can get that wording and save it on your phone and keep doing it. Keep canceling that karma. That's how intentional karmic clearing is. It's just simple. So just tell the universe, I don't want to do this shit anymore. I'm done. But we all make so much out of all the drama going on outside, and you aren't looking here. Am I being accepting, unconditionally loving? Am I being understanding? Am I willing and optimistic to try something new? Am I open-minded? Am I neutral? Can I just let people be what they're going to be and ignore them and move on with my life? You don't even have to participate. Thank you. Thank you, Ron. Okay, Monday is the 3rd. So Monday, we have a new call. I love it. These calls keep happening on moon transits. So Monday, we'll do this again. And we'll recite it again, and we'll clear out this karma for the full moon in Aquarius. Okay, so tonight's tips, what we covered. Accepting and understanding aggression. Okay, I want you to think about it. Accepting and understanding does not mean you accept it as your own. You just need to accept that some people are there, and you need to back out of it and allow it to surface, or else it's going to stay in them and it's not going to make them happy. They're going to be frustrated, miserable. Let it surface. Number 2 tip, the room you enter has the lessons you need. So the marriage you're in, the relationship you start, the dating you're in, it all has the lessons you need. Staying there is on you. Is it going to bring you open-mindedness and freedom and power, or does it bring you is it forcing you and putting you in frustration? Is it forced and frustrated? Then it's not okay, and it's not healthy, and you need to back out of it for a bit. Okay? So that's number 2, the room you enter, and I mean room by people you're engaging in, relationships that you have, they all have lessons that you need. So quit running away from them and quit acting like they're not there to help you, because they are. Even if you don't like what they're saying to you, own it, own your bullshit, okay? Number 3, what unconventional aspect can you enhance in your relationship? Whoever was on Facebook, I'm sorry, you guys have popped up so far. Now I can't see all the messages right now. I'm not on Facebook Live totally. I can only see a little chunk. If you're an unconventional right now, embrace it, enjoy it, appreciate it. And if you haven't, I want you to do this again. What unconventional aspect in the world that's unconventional could you bring into your current marriage, relationship, serious partnership that you're in? Okay. What unconventionality could you bring in? Number 4 tip, own your bullshit in partnerships, you guys, or Mars will make you do it instead, and it will be unexpected and you won't like it, and it will probably be in the form of a very mean and nasty argument. So own it. Now, just because someone brings you their bullshit doesn't mean you have to keep toting it around. You can leave it right there and let it sit with them and walk away. It's that simple. Okay, I don't care if this is at work or at home, any of your relationships, they're going to be affected like that. And last but not least, number 5, clear your karmic Kool-Aid with shower talk and or the karmic clearing that I just gave you guys. And again, as soon as I hang up, I will post it for you guys. Actually, yeah, I'll post it for you guys for tomorrow. So it'll be my tomorrow's post, but I'll post it tonight. Okay. Anything similar, start cutting the cords. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with one question, and then I'm going to finish with the last couple of questions that are coming in for me so that I can help you guys address these. Okay. So the last question, I know it's 7, we're going to go a couple minutes over. The last question I'm going to leave you with tonight. Are you repeating relationships that you can see that your parents had? Okay. What baggage do you need to clear to design a more powerful destination to land on? Throwing that dart. What baggage is in your way? So if you're repeating stuff from your parents that you don't want to address, that's on you. And someone's asking, what do you do if only one person wants to own their bullshit? It's debilitating when it's all on you. It is. But most people keep asking me about this. And my point is quit talking about their bullshit. You don't get to decide what their bullshit is. You work on you. You clear you. Some people will not be ready if you don't leave them alone to deal with it. I don't mean like ignoring them in the mean sense. I mean opening up the door and saying, look, you have a lot of stuff to deal with here. If you want to deal with it lovingly, I am open. But we have a hard time because a lot of people I watch and I know that are on this call, they are helpers and healers and dealing with people who don't want to deal with certain things. And so then we go, oh, well, let me help you. Let me fix it. Let me tell you why. You have to speak nothing. Silence is usually what delivers the answers we want. And so you don't have to own it all. You just have to own your bullshit. That's my answer. You don't have to own it all. Just own yours. And own it and walk away. Because if someone's not engaging in conversation with you, this isn't conversation. This is control. Up to you to be controlled. Okay, so someone else had asked a question. I have a father that is going into a nursing home Saturday, sick parents. Okay, so this is hard. You have no control of that. You can be unconditionally loving, and you're going to have to go unconventional. You may have to teach your parents or buy them a mini, screen phone that can do FaceTime. That once you dial that number in, it shows up and they can see you and you can see them, and you show them one button and you teach them. There's only one button on here that will help you get to me. There's things that we can do that you have to look out of the box and find other ways. We spend money on coffee and shoes and TV and all this shit that doesn't really matter anymore. Go find those things that will help them. And there may not be a lot. There may be very minimal amount, but my answer is go find it and go teach them. Teach that person. I'm not going to debate. My husband, he liked to talk on the phone. He was not a big FaceTimer. He would forget how. He didn't even know how. I'm like, I need to see you right at the beginning of our relationship. And so it took us a while to get there, right? Okay, so Ron, this is something, again, this is you're going to have to heal. Why are you feeling guilty when you can't stop someone's progression of health? It's not on you to take on the guilt. Okay, relationships. There's nothing you can shift or change other than showing up any way you form or can. It's hard. Life is not easy. And I told you, Mars is forcing us to make changes for us. You can't change anybody else. All right, but stop trying to fix other people when you won't fix them. This is a really big deal right now, because every time you look outside of yourself on a TV screen, you're trying to feel the emotion, and then it gets you triggered, and it's painful and it's frustrating, it's overwhelming, and scares the shit out of people most of the time. Then you come in and you push all that emotion, overwhelm. Oh my God, am I going to keep my job? Am I going to lose my job? Am I going to lose my opportunity? Am I going to lose my marriage or my relationship? Is it going to stay? Oh my God, am I going to be able to date now? I can't date because how am I going to date if I have no way to date? Because I can't just do FaceTime. You can. I met my amazing, beautiful, brilliant husband on FaceTime. I shouldn't say FaceTime, online. It works if you put the dart to the target. None of you will pick a target. So maybe the bigger question I should ask you guys tonight is, are you repeating your parents' relationship, but then at the same time, are you picking a new target? Don't give it a timeline, just pick the new target. Is it health? Is it love? Is it joy? Is it being just courage to have affirmations every day? Do you have to take the courage step? Okay, so again, guys, all of this is on my website. If you want to join in, I left 2020 up for you guys for a while. So if you want to join Expansion 2020, it's on there. It gives you access to a whole bunch of stuff, including all the things I had mentioned to you guys tonight. Couples Toolbox, remember, it has everything I brought up tonight. So it's there. All you got to do is open it and follow the steps, and it'll give everything I asked you to do. Everything's there. Yes, I'm launching a new spiritual warrior course, and I'm super excited, and I'll keep reminding you guys, but it's not totally done yet. So I almost thought about teaching it halfway and then finishing it, but I'm just so busy. So what I want you guys to understand is that even someone was saying, I'm amazing in my relationship because of my parents. Some parents had pretty damn great, amazing, unconditionally loving relationships, and they taught you that. And some parents did a really shitty job. Does not make them bad. It does not, you do not get to judge your parents. You do not get to blame your parents. They just didn't know any better. You get to choose what you want, how you want it, and when you want it. And you just have to take one step. Mars will force you. So you either can take it lovingly or you can take it forcefully. Solely on you. I am totally open to supporting you all getting there, but you're going to go. Again, I've had to go because it's funny, for the first, it's this like first time in my life where my husband and I were laughing. We're like, we don't really have relationship stuff to deal with. We have other things that are coming up where Mars is pushing that part of our chart, that part of our personality to open our mindset there. So it's going to happen. You just kind of have to open your brains and your mindset too. Okay, so one of the questions is it possible that we choose the target and Mars says not enough, or question mark? I'm confused by that. It doesn't matter what target you choose. It will still get you there. So whatever target you choose, yes, you will get there. You just have to let go of the control and the rules and the expectations and how fast and again, let's just say two couples are arguing. Let's call it, for sake of explicit arguing, very angry arguing coming up. Okay, let's say they're doing that. You have to let go of control. If you're the one that's conscious and you're awake enough to go, I can't control and expect them to go at the speed I want. I just have to know that I have the target and I'm going to work my way there and they'll meet me at some point. So the target is not the question. You pick a target, you pick where you want to go, and then you allow everyone in an accepting, understanding way to get there in their own speed. Cool? Cool. Okay. All right, guys, it's past the hour by 5-6 minutes. I literally was planning on going shorter today, and I over chatted. Shocker, right? That Dawn would do that. But this is one of my happy topics because I want you all to understand that most things that are coming up right now are karma. So I'm going to post all this stuff up for you. It will be on all social media. So go get it, save it onto your phone, and repeat it in those photos. Okay. So repeat it out to yourself all week long till we get to Monday. Monday's the third full moon, and we're going to start clearing this karma, whether we like it or not. All right. Brightest blessings to all of you. I love you all. Have a good night. I'll talk to you soon.